Welcome back. We are going to discuss about 4 contemporary approaches to education for the next 5 sessions. In this session, we'll have brief review of these 4 approaches, and we will have more detailed examination of each approach for the next 4 sessions. The first 3 approaches all have secular origin and eventually made their way into Christian education. They differ in the teaching methods they advocate, and more importantly, in the control beliefs by which they are shaped. Our task here will be largely descriptive to understand these approaches in their own terms and uncover the assumptions that lie behind them. Our teaching methods have usually been caught from our own teachers. There is nothing necessarily wrong with such subconscious imitation of other educators, but at the same time, Christian teachers should self-consciously examine the way they teach. Many habits we pick up restrict the power of the gospel in our lives, and certain teaching strategies can have a similar effect upon our instruction. Christian teachers need to ask themselves, why do I teach the way I do? Many Christians have unwittingly subscribed to a secular approach to education. Having picked it up from their school days, it is difficult to escape from the patterns of one's culture. But Christians must be wary of uncritically adopting the methods of educational values of an alien society. Christian teachers must continually ask themselves whether they are truly being Christian in their approach. The first approach is called romantic approach. The romantic approach to education places great emphasis on the metaphor of organic growth and maturation. The physical growth of a plant is the guiding image of the educational romantics, and the teacher is seen as a gardener. The second approach is transmissive approach. Transmissionists use a different set of powerful images to express their educational orientation. The factory, which is efficiency, use of science, and output of uniform products of high quality, is the guiding image of the transmissive approach. The goal is to transmit efficiently a cultural or religious heritage to the next generation. They describe themselves as content-centered. The teachers in their approach are seen as technicians. The third approach is developmental approach. Though John Dewey was not the first person to advocate the basic principles of developmental education, he was the first, however, to articulate a comprehensive developmental philosophy of education. In brief, he sought to promote development of the child primarily through the child's interaction with society and the environment. The developmental approach emphasizes on the instrumental use of knowledge and the importance of bringing the structures of thinking to maturity. The teacher is seen as a coordinator in development approach. The last one is transformational Christian education approach. Unlike the other approaches to education, which have secular and religious roots, the transformational approach builds most directly on the human search for God-centered meaning. Within each person, there is a deep sense that life should have meaning. While many choose to worship idols instead of the living and true God, those idols are a testimony to the human soul's quest for meaning. The teacher in this approach serves as a guide in teaching the students. We have briefly previewed the 4 approaches to education, which are romantic approach, transmissive approach, developmental approach, and transformational Christian education approach. You may have a little idea about these 4 different approaches to education. Next session, we are going to discuss more about the romantic approach to education. Thanks for watching. See you next time.